What's up, guys? Keith here again, coming at you from Carolina Mountain Lights Workshop here in Candler, North Carolina. I've been doing some planning for my 2016 Christmas show. I've come up with kind of unique prop that I want to build for it. I say unique because as far as I know, nobody's ever attempted this before. Of course, nobody's probably crazy enough to do something like this. But I like to do things that are original and things that are a really big challenge. So what I'm going to do is build a 20-foot mega twig tree. Not just a 20-foot twig mega tree, but a 20-foot mega twig tree. And you can see behind me here, it's one of my 6-foot twig trees that I used for the 2015 show. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to film this during the whole process. I'm thinking it's going to take me a few months to do this at the least. I might still be working on it come Christmas time. But I'm going to do this in 3 video parts. First part's going to be the design part. That's what you're watching right now. I'm going to show you some of the design features that I have to take into consideration here and the way I've overcome them. Second part will be the build, where I actually put this thing together. And the third part will be the final show, where we light it up and see what it can do. So I'm thinking a twig tree like that, 20 foot tall, you can get some pretty good 3D effects out of it. Now, some of the things I have to take into consideration for this build. First thing we'll start with is a trunk. Now, I've decided I want to build this in 4 different sections, 4 5-foot sections. The good part about this is this twig tree you see behind me is the first top section, the first section. It's already built. That takes a whole lot of the work out of it. So, as far as the trunk of it, the trunk of that 6-foot twig tree fits perfectly down inside a 3/4 inch PVC pipe. Now, first thing everybody's going to say is you're going to build the trunk out of PVC for a 20-foot tree. That's not going to be very sturdy. But I think I've come up with a design that will make it pretty sturdy. So we get the top section that's already built inside a 3/4 inch PVC. Take a 3/4 to 1.5 inch adapter, and the second section will be on an 1.5 inch trunk. After we build that 5-foot section, we take an adapter from an 1.5 inch 2-inch PVC. So the third section will have a trunk made out of 2-inch. From there, we got 2-inch to 3-inch adapter, so the bottom trunk will be 3 inches. So as you can see, it goes from smallest to largest at the bottom, which should make for a pretty strong trunk. Plus, on top of that, up here somewhere at the top of the second section, I'll put a couple of eye bolts in here and run some guy wire for it. So I think with those two things combined, should make for a pretty sturdy trunk. Keep in mind this is just for demonstration purposes. It'll obviously be longer than this. Now the reason I have to use PVC for the trunk is the connectors that I make for the twigs themselves have to be screwed into the trunk. And that would be very difficult on a metal trunk, simply because I'm calculating somewhere between 150 to 200 twigs I'm going to have to make for this thing. That would be a lot of drilling and screwing on metal, but easily done on PVC. The connector itself was a design that I had to think quite a bit about to figure out the easiest, least expensive, and most functional. Now, the things I have to take into consideration for the connector is, one, I want the limbs to be able to fold just like the one on the original tree. When I take this thing apart, I want it to be in 4 sections that will fold up for easy storage. And I have come up with a design for that. It will take some time to make them all, but it's very doable. The twigs themselves, you've seen my other how-to video on using 9-gauge galvanized steel wire. That's what I will make the twigs out of. Now for the first probably 2 sections that I build, this will be fine as a single piece. By the time I get to the 3rd section, I'll probably have to double up on it, because with this, it's very strong wire, but the longer you get with it, the more flexible it gets, the more floppy, if you will. But I'm figuring by the time we get down to the bottom, the twigs are going to be about 5 foot long. So that's going to make it pretty flimsy, so I will probably just double up on this. And that should work fine. As far as the lights, whenever we get to the build, I'll show you how to put these lights on. I'll be using 2811 bullet pixels. I'm figuring by the time I get through, I probably have around 8 universes going on this tree. This one behind me is 170 pixels on it. It's one full universe by itself, but obviously as the twigs get longer, it's going to use more pixels, and it's going to increase as it goes down. So I'm figuring probably around 8 universes. So one E682 will control this thing. Now, as far as the twigs themselves, I measured these out. Each level of the twigs increases by 2 inches as we go down. The longest one on this is around 20 inches. So if you do some calculations, you can figure by the time I get to the bottom, it will be about a 5 foot length. There's about 5 3/4 inches distance between each level. I'll maintain that all the way down. So maintaining that distance between each level, increasing the length of the twigs, the tree will shape up pretty well. So as I said, the second video that I will do on this will involve the actual build. I will do little videos here and there of things as I put them together. I actually did a little bit this morning. I cut some of the strips that I'll be using for the connectors. I've already filmed that, and I'll be filming every part of it as I go. But you probably won't see that video until I actually do the reveal video at the end. That way we'll have all 3 videos out at the same time. So anyway, check back often, and hopefully sometime by the end of the summer I'll have this thing built. Thank you for watching.